Good morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are. I'm Paul Clark. Welcome to my studio. So, what have I got for you lovely lot today? Well, this is a painting that I did in my last week's local watercolour classes, and the students seemed to enjoy it, so I thought you guys might like to have a go. And it's a scene from one of our painting retreats in the lovely island of La Gomera. So, we're going to have a go at painting this lovely little sunrise beach scene. So, come and join me and we'll paint this step by step together. So there's no reference photo today because this is part made up and part painted plein air on La Gomera. Today's materials. My paper is some lovely Saunders Waterford rough. It's 100% cotton, 300 pounds, so it's super thick and definitely won't need stretching, but of course any decent watercolour paper will do. And my colours today, I'll be using some cobalt blue, phthalo blue, cadmium orange and cadmium yellow, some lemon yellow, burnt sienna and burnt umber. And for my brushes today, I'm using a large Harkey, and from my range, 3/4 inch flat, number 12 and number 6 round. And here's the drawing. Now it is fairly simple, but if you want the drawing template, it is available from my website, link in the description below. Off we go, and I'm starting by completely saturating the whole sheet of paper with clean water using my large Harkey brush. Then straight in with this lovely bright blue, which is a mix of cobalt and phthalo, about 50-50. If you haven't got phthalo blue, cerulean works just as well. Bit in the foreground here too, but it's important to try and get that graduated wash from the top. Then straight in with some cadmium orange. Now it's important that this is orange and not yellow because we don't want our sky to go green. And also as few brush strokes as possible, we don't want these colours to mix too much. Now I'm putting in the yellow. And the orange sort of works as a buffer between that blue and the yellow. Of course all of this is going in very much wet in wet, and I'm having to work very quick today because believe it or not, it's very warm here in the UK. Now here I'm just taking a tissue and dabbing out some of the colour where this cliff is going to be. Right, so I'm going to let everything totally dry, then I'm coming in with my number 12 brush and giving this cliff here a complete covering with some cadmium orange. Now it's a nice watery mix because I'm coming in straight away and dropping into the wet some burnt sienna. And even a little bit of that sky colour to add some extra interest. And for some dark, still wet in wet, some burnt umber. So I'm going to let that soak in for a few moments, then I'm coming in with a plastic store card using that side edge and scraping and dragging into the wet paint, or the damp paint. Just pushing the paint along and creating these lovely rock textures. Now you do have to time this fairly accurately because if it's too wet it'll just creep back on itself, so it's definitely in that sort of damp stage. And I'm also following that sort of diagonal angle of the cliff. Now don't be afraid to press down too hard because good watercolour paper will be able to take it. Right, next for a little bit of directional splatting with some burnt umber, and this is still going in while it's damp, even though some areas are totally dry, which means you'll get a nice combination of soft splats and some hard edge splats. And here I'm just bringing out a few of these shadows with some burnt umber. Right, so now that needs to totally dry, so I can now come in with a very watery wash of cadmium orange. And this wash will just help to reduce the contrast a bit and just unite the whole thing and pull it together. Okay, so now it's time to paint the beach, and I'm starting with my number 12 brush and completely re-wetting the whole of the beach area. Here I've switched to my Harke brush just to get that water down quickly. And notice I've kept the sea area dry. Right, here we go. Lots of lovely colours, and I'll list them below as I use them, using my number 12 brush, keeping these brush strokes nice and horizontal. Lots of nice soft blends and lots of mixing actually on the paper. Even a bit of the sky colour going in here. Right, so here I'm painting in the reflection of the cliff into the wet sand here, and this is a mix of burnt umber and burnt sienna. And I'm really after some soft edges here because that really helps to create that illusion of a reflection. And to get a little bit of movement in the paint, I'm just tilting my board to an angle of about 45 degrees, just for a few moments. So now we need to let this totally dry, so it's a perfect time for a short break, and I'm going for a tequila sunrise. So I'm thinking now these washes have dried, it all looks a little bit light and wishy-washy. So here is the beautiful thing about watercolour, you can always layer another wash on top. So, re-wetting with clean water the sky and sand area, and dropping in the same colours I used previously, just to give that extra strength and depth. And definitely this reflection could do with beefing up a little. Now there's definitely been an advantage in using thick paper today. I've been using lots of water, lots of moisture, and my paper's staying nice and flat. And let's add a little more dark here in the foreground. Right, I don't usually use masking tape for straight edges, but I think it's really important that that horizon where the sea meets the sky is nice and level. So putting it down nice and firmly so nothing creeps underneath it, and then running some cadmium orange, then wetting with clean water the bottom edge to get a nice soft transition. Then putting in a few little waves here and there, still using my number 12 brush and just skimming it along the top of the paper to create those nice tapered ends. And then when it's nice and dry, just slowly peel off the tape. Then with my number 6 brush, painting in the same sky colour again, which is going to be slightly darker because it's going on top of the orange, and just putting in these little darker waves and some movement in the sea. Although I haven't painted the rocks yet, I'm just painting in the suggestion of their reflection. A little more smaller details with the orange. And then back with the blue, creating that dry brush effect by quickly skimming my brush across the surface of the paper. Now for the rocks, and I've mixed a nice dark value using cobalt blue and burnt umber. And keeping the shape of all of these rocks flat where they meet the sand. dropping in a little touch of cadmium orange here. Same colour again here, but a little bit more watered down. And again dropping in a nice blob of orange. Now I can't give you an exact colour breakdown of all these browns and oranges. As you can see, my palette's quite a mess. And I'm going to do a little bit of card work on this, not too much, just a couple of scrapes. And I'm going to be painting all the rest of these rocks in exactly the same way, all wet in wet, all with a slightly darker shadow side on the right. Now for these big rocks, all the same techniques again, starting with a very watery mix of cadmium orange and burnt umber, flat along the bottom and shadow on the side. A little touch of blue goes in there. You could almost imagine these rocks here to be like mini mountain ranges, because basically they have all the same structure. Right, so let everything totally dry, then I'm going to do exactly the same as I did with the cliff and paint in a very watery mix of cadmium orange directly over top of all of these rocks. Now a cadmium orange is slightly opaque, so if you have something like a transparent orange, it'll probably work that little bit better, but I haven't got any. And I think this wash is important because it just sort of holds everything together and just makes it look less contrasty. Contrasty? Is that a word? Next, the same brown colour, but a very weak mix, and I'm just putting a little shadow under each of these rocks. Right, so what do you do about an erroneous little dot here? Well, just change it into a couple of pebbles. And the little shadows again. Right, now it's time for some major splatting. I'm using the same dark brown colour. Definitely mask off the sky area. Just flick the bristles back and get some lovely texture here. So I really want to go for the impression of a really pebbly beach here, so I'm really going for the splats. And I can reduce the strength of them just by dabbing slightly with the tissue. And next I'm just adding in a few more little shadows and textures here with various greys and browns. even putting in a little orange here and there. Next, it's time for the magic scalpel. Okay, it's just a cheap craft knife, but it's perfect for scratching out and creating these beautiful highlights underwater. It works really well for glistening sea as well as the tops of waves. Now the trick here is not to dig in too deep and cut the paper. All I'm doing is literally scratching the paint off the surface of the paper. Right, so now comes a bit of pressure painting in the figure, because there's no doubt that that's the first thing that people will notice on a painting like this. So it does need to be proportionately right. Now, a little tip is to try a few practices first. Now, some will be better than others, but it just helps you to get your eye in. Right, so I'm starting with a very watery wash of burnt umber and just slowly feeling my way into the shape. Just simple shapes, no hands, no feet. Then dropping in wet some of these colours. Now I'm using the same colours that I've used in the background. It just helps to give it a nice harmony and balance. Now another little tip with painting in small figures is don't make the head too big. It can always look a bit cartoony. Now for the dog, now always a tricky shape, so I'm really trying to simplify this, not even putting in 4 legs. Now the idea here is that they're both walking away from you, so we don't need to worry about any facial features. Now for their reflection, which is important, otherwise it'll look like they're just floating in space. So clean water first, then just dropping in matching colours to suit. So when that's totally dry, I'm just going to blur these reflections down a little bit just by using a damp tissue and just rubbing in a downward direction. And what about a little dog lead, as Rufus here has been known to run off. And there we go, all done, and this one in just over 2 hours. Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did, and you'll give it a go. Remember, use lots of water in those big washes, keep it to a fairly limited palette, and as always, try and enjoy the experience. But in the meantime, please don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't already. It is free. Leave a comment, I do read every single one, can't always reply to them all. Of course, I look forward to seeing all you guys next week for another Watercolour Wednesday. Have a great week, everyone.